Hello Kitty fan, upset Italian man, winter sports stan. Man, do we got some news. What's up, everyone? My name is Akshat.
And my name is Vineet. In this podcast, we'll provide you with some entertaining stories to lighten up your day.
So sit back, stand up, lay down, take a bow as we share some news. Welcome back, listeners, to another episode of Some News.
Some news.
It is officially 2023, so Happy New Year to everyone out there.
Happy
we
New
are
Year.
back after the holiday break for our first episode in 2023. And, you know, Vinny, how was your holiday season? How was everything?
It was good. Like I first of all, I can't even believe it's 2023. I feel like just yesterday I woke up in 2022, and here we are in 2023. But it was good. Typical family stuff. Did some skiing, gingerbread house building. My sister wanted to go to Florida, so we ended up going to Florida for her birthday.
Nice.
And that's about it. What about you?
Yeah, I actually just came back from a trip. I was visiting family overseas in India, visiting
Nice.
the grandparents and stuff like that. So
That's where I'm from.
It was a great time. So am I. That's the motherland. So it was a great time. Had fun with family, but we are now officially back with our first episode. So without any further delay, let's jump right in with stuff that we got.
All
right
right.
off the bat, I have some shocking news.
Okay, how shocking is this?
It's super shocking. Are you sitting down right now?
Should I be standing?
Stand up and then sit down. Because this is some shocking news. So are you familiar with Hello Kitty?
Hello Kitty. Yeah. It's that giant, the white cat with like a giant head, and she says hello or something.
I guess, yeah, okay. I don't know really what she does, but yeah. So basically, yeah, it's the giant white, cat-looking thing.
Yep.
Well, would you be surprised if I told you that Hello Kitty isn't a cat?
What? It's Hello Kitty. It's a kitty cat. What do you mean? What is it?
It is not a cat, man.
What is it?
I am freaking out after reading this news, okay? So, just like you, and I'm sure like everybody else, I thought when somebody's name or something's name is Hello Kitty, it means it's an actual kitty. It has pointy ears and whiskers. So how is it not
a cat? That's a cat.
Exactly. That's what I thought. So this article got published. It's a while back. It's not recent, but it's a while back from December. But basically in that, SNL did a skit where they were just making fun of like the Hello Kitty thing, the brand, stuff like that. Yeah. And it was like a skit of training new employees.
So this is Hello Kitty training, like a factory for a Hello Kitty or like a thing for Hello Kitty?
Yeah, it's like a Hello Kitty like store.
There?
So they're like training the new employees.
Gotcha.
So like basically the manager in the skit goes like, if you open to page 5 of your employee handbook, you'll see a list of facts about Hello Kitty.
Okay.
As you can see, she loves to bake cookies. She goes to school. And she's not a cat. She's a human little girl. And an employee.
No, that's not correct. So I know what a human looks like.
So an employee was like, whoa. Did you just say Hello Kitty's a human girl? And yeah, so that's basically what the manager said in the skit. Now, right off the bat, it's SNL. So most people will be like, yeah, that's clearly a joke. That's like fake or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Turns out Hello Kitty is actually a little girl.
What happened to her? And
not just any girl. She's a girl who's in elementary school.
Okay, well, I mean, I would assume that she goes to school, right?
Yeah, so everybody was like, yeah, this can't be real. However, Christine Yano, an anthropologist from the University of Hawaii, set the record straight when she went to the exhibit at the Japanese American National Museum. And the company behind Hello Kitty basically said that Hello Kitty is not a cat. She is a cartoon character. She is a little girl. She is a friend. I don't know why they had to add that part.
She comes in peace. She's a friend.
She is not your enemy. She will not attack. But she is not a cat. She's never been depicted on all fours.
So I mean, I understand you're not depicted on all fours, but it's a cartoon. It's a cartoon.
It says she walks and she sits like a two-legged creature. She does have a pet cat of her own, and it's called Charmy Kitty. However, there's one more confusing fact. Right? So where do you think Hello Kitty lives?
Okay, now I'm not sure about anything. London. She lives in London.
Bro, that's like the perfect guess.
Oh, what? Was that right?
Apparently, the character lives in London rather than Japan.
Yeah, boy. I was gonna say Japan, but I'm like, no, not Japan. She looks like she could be English, so I placed her in London.
A cat-looking, apparently little girl looks like she could be English.
Yeah, didn't you look at the little girl? She looks English to me.
So this was the biggest shocker to me because. You know, I'm not a big Hello Kitty fan, but like everybody, I assumed the name's Hello Kitty. Like I assumed it's a cat. It has whiskers.
What if we're the cat? Like, what if the show is telling us Hello Kitty? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's like breaking the fourth wall, basically.
Breaking the fourth wall, yeah.
Or what if the show's not even meant for us?
What if the show kitties?
It is meant for our pet cats.
Wow.
And we're supposed to basically sit our cat in front of the TV. And then have that turned on and just be like, "Hello, kitty."
Wow, this really has blown my mind. I never thought of Hello Kitty as a human girl. I did think she was a girl.
She has like a little bow on her head.
So that's definitely true. I've never seen a human like that in my life. I don't think I ever will.
This is what happens when a cat lady gets too involved with their cats. We get these like little humanoid creatures coming out that are like half cat, half human.
Yeah, I don't think I can continue my life or this podcast anymore. I have to question all my life choices, everything I know.
Confused. I just didn't understand. So moving on to our next story. The next story that I have is actually also based out of, I guess, indirectly Britain. Wow. We found out Hello Kitty's from London. No, this story is also from Britain. It's from Western England, however. So It was basically where it was a hospital where a guy was in the hospital, and they actually had to call the bomb squad to the hospital.
For what?
Because of a patient.
Did he have a bomb inside him? Like what?
So basically, hospital staff in Britain acted swiftly after a man arrived at their emergency ward with a World War II-era munition in his rectum.
What kind of kinky stuff is this?
So the police and army experts were called in, but the medics had removed the object safely before they arrived. So it's a munition. So it's not like a grenade or anything like that. But they obviously had to call like the bomb squad to like take a look at like what is this and stuff like that. Yeah. So the army came out, they take a look at it, and they basically said that it was a 57 millimeter shell, which was measured 17 centimeters by 6 centimeters.
Jesus.
Yeah. So it's not like small.
It's huge.
It's pretty
huge.
Big. It was a chunky pointed lump of lead designed to rip through a tank's armor.
Well, did more than tank's armor.
And of course, when asked, the guy said, "How did it get up there?" He said he slipped and he fell on the device.
Okay. I've heard this story before.
What I don't understand is if he slipped and he fell. Well, they didn't mention if he was wearing pants or not in this article, but I'm assuming no. So I'm like, yeah, you slipped and you fell. Sure, that's what happened. You just happened to get like a tank-piercing bullet up your butt because you slipped and you fell.
There's no way. I don't even know what to say. There's no way.
And why was it on the ground if you did slip and fall? Why was it on the ground in the first place? Pointing up, by the way.
Where did this happen? Do we know where this happened?
It was in Western England.
No, but like, was it at his house?
I'm assuming at his home.
Yeah, I mean, if he's walking around naked, hopefully it's in his own home.
Yeah, I'm assuming it was probably in his house. But he slipped and he fell. The man had been clearing out his private arsenal of military collectibles when the accident unfolded, apparently.
But I guess that story somewhat lines up at least. and it's not just a random thing on the ground.
But apparently he's been released from the hospital. He's going to make a full recovery.
Well, I don't think I'd make a full recovery.
But it was just, slipped and fell, sure.
Unreal.
Yeah, so then moving on to the next article that we have. The next article that we have is actually based also out of Europe. There's a lot of European.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on in Europe today.
This one's a little bit older, though. It's from 2021.
Okay.
It's from Italy, so it's not UK anymore. We're moving on. We're moving to Italy.
The pizza is made.
Exactly. So basically, a man was under house arrest, and he basically went to the police, and he basically begged them to put him in jail.
Wait, what?
So a man asked Italian police to jail him to escape wife at home.
How did he get into this relationship?
So I love how the article starts off. First of all, it says, so for some people, going to prison can feel like escaping to freedom.
Perfect title. Whoever wrote that title needs a raise.
A man under house arrest in Italy showed up at a police barracks asking to be put behind bars because life with his wife at home was unbearable.
Do anything else. Get a divorce. Just move out. Why? Did he need health insurance? Well, I guess in Europe, do they even have that? Isn't it all free?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But I'm sure they have like a card or something that, helps them get it. But whatever. They said.
Well, still, you could do anything else. Just move out.
The 30-year-old man was living in Monticello outside Rome. I probably mispronounced that terribly, but he was no longer able to cope with the forced cohabitation with his wife. Yeah. Exasperated by the situation, he preferred to escape, spontaneously presenting himself to the police to ask to serve his sentence behind bars. He had been under house arrest for drug crimes for several months and had a few years left to serve.
Wow.
But he said he was living at home with his wife and family and it wasn't going well anymore. He said, listen, my domestic life has become hell. I can't do it anymore. I want to go to jail.
Wow. I mean, okay, so I guess it makes sense in a fact that he can't leave since he's under house arrest, so he can't move out. But how bad does your family have to be? You're like, I can no longer stay with my wife and kids. It's too much for me.
I'd rather be in jail.
Yeah,
basically.
Unreal.
Wow. The good news for him is that he technically got his wish because he was promptly arrested for violating his house arrest, and he was transferred to prison. So
wow. He
might be the happiest guy in jail at that moment. Let's see how long it actually lasted. I don't know. I probably after a few months, he's like, "Oh, I should have stayed home instead of being in prison."
Wow.
Yeah, it was just I can't imagine how bad home life has to be for you to actually choose jail over staying at home.
Yeah, dude, I have no idea. Unless his wife was violently beating him up or something. How bad could it be?
Honestly, I don't know. Unfortunately, they didn't tell us that in the article.
Maybe the food. Maybe it was the food. Maybe she was really bad at cooking. And he's like, you know what? Prison food's better than this. Take me to prison.
I just can't deal with it. Or they're just nagging him. He's like, you never take me out to dates anymore. He's like, I have an ankle bracelet on. I can't leave.
I'm under house arrest.
It's like, you never come with us to go shopping. You never come with us to family events. It's like, I literally cannot leave the house.
We never go out anymore. I know.
It's because I can't. The last thing that I have is, because we had time, these are all really short articles. I had one more
nice.
that I wanted to wrap up with. We're finally leaving Europe. We're traveling over the ocean.
Very nice.
We're heading over to Australia.
Oh, okay.
So first, let me ask you this. When we were younger, libraries were very popular. We could, we could rent, we could take out books, we could read them, and then of course return them. A lot of times when we had in school, when we had assigned reading, we had to go to the library to check out these books and stuff like that.
Yep.
So let me ask you this: were you ever in a situation where your library book was overdue?
Oh, 100%. Almost all the time. It was very rarely that I returned it on time.
And then, it depends on which library you go to. I'm assuming you also had to pay a fine at times, right? When you returned it a little bit late.
It was a very small fine, 10 cents, 25 cents, something like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything insane.
It's super minor. I think it's 5 or 10 cents like for like every week or something like that.
Yeah.
Not too bad. I will say I have kind of beat you at that because I remember for one summer reading I took a book out.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I should share this publicly, but I still haven't returned it.
Was this a school library or was this like the library,
like
public library?
Public library.
You're gonna be arrested now.
This is the Edison Public Library. I'm even sharing the place.
That's it. If they hear this podcast, if our podcast leaves a circle of like 3 people, that's it. You're going to prison.
I still have the book. It was Holes.
That was Holes.
The book. I still have it. So it's been what? I read it out in middle school. It's been,
I think it was like 6th grade reading that we had to do for Holes.
Yeah, so it's what, 10 years, 12 years?
Dude, like I think like 15 years, yo.
Yeah. So what I will say is I'm coming for the record. But the story that I'm about to share, I have a long ways to go. I can't beat the record. It's going to be future generations.
Wow.
Because a book was returned to the Australian school library that was 120 years overdue.
Jesus. At this point, I feel like you deserve like a prize medal for like going out of your way and returning it. I'm also impressed that library has been around for 120 years.
Yeah, honestly, that's the biggest part about this whole story. The fact that the library actually stood around for that long. Because the libraries are literally like...
Yeah, they're practically extinct.
They're like fossils. Yeah. They're going extinct. I don't know if I'll even get to break this record because by the time my family decides to return it, the library might not even be around.
Wow.
So...
Yeah.
But yeah, so the book was returned nearly 120 years overdue. It was a copy of Great Expectations by Charles Dickens, and it was returned to the school's library by by a man named John Lamb. Lamb's grandfather, Arthur Lamb, had been a student at the facility during the 1902-1903 school year, and he had checked the book out of the library in 1903.
Dude, honestly, I feel like I would sell that book.
Oh, I
guarantee you it would be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, it probably would. It's literally like an ancient artifact at this point. The book was discovered recently by family members in a box of various possessions. This is the biggest part. It was in excellent condition.
Dude, I would 100,000% be like, I'm selling it. I'll pay the library fees if I have to out of the money I make from it.
It's not even like worn or warped or anything like that. It's in excellent condition.
That is impressive.
So they returned it to the school for display 120 years overdue. And then the library posted it on Instagram, like a picture of the book. We can share out that picture on our Instagram. Just let people know. But it literally looks like it's like a very old book. It looks like it's from 100 years ago. But it literally looks pristine in its condition.
Wow.
It's just insane of how not even wear and tear wise. It has not been affected.
Yeah, I would not return that book. I would sell it. Have you ever seen Pawn Stars?
Oh yeah.
And they bring on so many crazy books. A lot of them are 50, 60 years old and they're heavily damaged. And they still sell for a couple $1,000.
Well, I would say, let me ask you this though. But if you tried to sell this, I'm sure inside the book it says property of Australian Library or something like that.
That's true.
Right.
But there are many times, for example, there were times where my library had they're giving books away.
Oh,
and
true.
so if it was an old enough book or, I don't know, for any reason they wanted to get rid of the book. I remember my grandpa and I used to go to the public library and we just picked up a bunch of books that they were getting rid of. So in our collection, we had a bunch of books.
And had the stamp that it was like that.
Exactly. So I'm sure they could have easily been oh yeah, this was 120 years old, so that's why they gave it to us. Although it was in excellent condition, they gave it to us.
Yeah. I'm sure they could have spun the story some way or another. But yeah, so that was just returned a very old book. It looks great. They gave it back, like you said. I probably would have sold it because it's probably worth a lot. Especially, it's not even some small time author. This is Charles Dickens.
Yeah,
this is one of the most famous authors of all time.
I know. Yeah.
So that book is definitely worth a lot of money. So those are all the stories that we had for this week. And before we move on to our main story, we can go ahead and take a quick break. And we're back. So Vineet, what's our main topic for today?
All right. So first of all, I love those stories. But yeah, our main topic. So you know how it's, pretty much wintertime here in the United States, New Jersey. area.
Yep.
And do you like doing any winter type activities, any winter sports or things like that?
Yeah. I'm an avid sportsman.
Are you though?
I have experience with cross country skiing.
Wow.
You were there for that. I have experience with sledding, snow tubing, things like that. So yeah, always out there. Playing football in the snow, like tackle football.
Ah, yes, good times.
Yeah, so there's winter sports that we've been involved with.
Yep. Man, I remember when we went cross country skiing. That was an experience, to say the least. We were thinking we're going for like a short 2-3 mile thing. It turned up being like 10 miles or something like that.
I think something like that. Yeah, it was definitely over 20 kilometers.
Yeah.
That we ended up doing that day. And I think the original plan was we're just gonna do 2-3 kilometers and then we'll be done.
And then we'll head back.
Yeah, and then we ended up doing over 20.
Man, I remember how done you were with skiing after that moment.
Honestly, the part that sticks out to me the most is halfway through, we were about to turn around and some guy is no, keep going. The exit's right around the corner.
I know.
And that around the corner was another 12 kilometers.
I know, it was insane. Because he literally he was so sure. He's oh no, yeah, it's just right there. These Canadian people are oh, it's right there. No problem at all. And then we went through a lot, man.
We went up a hill, and I was so confused because I was how are we going up a hill to go back to the beginning?
We never went down a hill.
I was so confused.
But man, that was an experience. The only thing that got me through was thinking about going to the spa right after. Man, that's what really pulled me through.
Yeah, which we never got to do.
And then a new COVID policy dropped.
It's like a mixtape. It's like a mixtape. A new COVID policy just dropped. The Drake album. It just dropped.
Oh man, but that was quite an adventure. So the story I'm about to share with you, since we talked a little bit about skiing, is this lady named Audrey, her experience with skiing. So it's quite a bit of a journey that she has gone through. Mm-hmm. So feel free to lay back, and all you listeners out there, lay back, settle in, or drive. I don't know what you're doing, but any of those things. And let's get into this story.
Let's do it.
Come along on my virtual tour of skiing experiences. These are my funny stories about skiing that unfortunately ended up, as usual, as my skiing bloopers. So if skiing was a sport in Comedy Olympics, I would have all the gold medals.
See, I feel like I could challenge for at least one of those medals.
I think so.
Experience.
I would say only for cross-country skiing. I don't know about real skiing. We can maybe go one day and have you fall over a couple times. Laugh,
yeah, exactly. And then I'll be bam, at least silver medal right there.
All right. So, yes, he continues to go on saying, I should have known it was not going to go my way from the day I tried it. In all fairness to myself, I have to say that I have the potential to be very athletic. However, the problem arises almost at once when the athletic part of me becomes the pathetic part of me. I have all the best intentions, but something just happens. Maybe it's because I was raised as a musician. I love sports, but they do not seem to come to me without a great deal of work, and even more embarrassment. My first skiing experience was none other than my honeymoon. All right.
Oh, wow.
Great.
Okay.
Great time to go experience skiing for the first time on your honeymoon. So her husband's name is Bob.
Okay.
So Bob was always athletic, so I guess it makes sense that and they're an athletic couple. Mm-hmm. And he has always loved sports. In my efforts to keep him enamored of me, I suppose I just thought by osmosis somehow I can master them all as well.
Man, that's not how osmosis works.
Well, clearly she's not a scientist.
The scientist in me, as soon as you read that sentence, was screaming, "No, stop it. Stop
it." So yeah, over the years, it has created some of my best material. I do not think you're supposed to ski for comedy. So now this is where the honeymoon experience starts. Mm-hmm. When we went to our honeymoon to a ski resort, I figured no problem. Bob would stand by me or ski by me to speak and teach me through everything that I needed to know, which makes sense. I feel like if you're going with someone who has the experience, they wouldn't just leave you and be like, all right, good luck.
That's a lie, because that happened to me.
What are you talking about?
You guys left halfway through. You guys were way ahead.
No, we weren't.
Halfway through, I slowed down.
Oh,
and you guys
right.
went so far ahead.
You are right.
And I was like, and it's funny because while that was happening, under my breath, I was muttering so much stuff. I was like, "It's the stupidest idea ever. I don't know why I came to do this. This is so dumb." Blah blah blah. They're like, and then I'm like, but then I'm trying to convince myself that it was okay. Like, try to hype myself to like keep going.
Yeah.
So I'm like, but hey, you got some good Instagram pictures out of it at least.
You did.
So it's like vice versa. But then eventually, I'm just like, this sucks. I hate these guys for making me do this.
See, but the thing is, when we started, I was in the back and you guys were in front of me. The problem there was you guys kept falling.
No, okay. I fell once. The other 2 times, I don't think it was my fault. So I was in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And Jeff was in front of me.
Yep. Jeff is our friend, by the way, for everyone who's curious. Shout out to Jeff if he ever listens to this.
He fell twice. And because he fell, I didn't know how to stop. And so because of that, my only option was also to fall to avoid like ramming into him.
Yeah. That's fair.
So the first time I felt my fault completely because I just didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
Other 2 times, I could have easily kept going if he didn't fall.
That's fair. Well, okay. Well, all I'm saying is there was falling in the beginning. That's why I just had to go take the lead and then make sure that you guys didn't fall, which I think went better. But then there were just some points where we're just like we don't know what to do. It's chaos.
Well, it was just that I was slow and you guys were like going at like a normal pace.
Yeah.
And then you guys were just like, we're just gonna keep going. And then I'm like, yeah, it's fine. And then I had people like other Canadian people like passing me. Like there was like a husband and wife that passed me, and they were like, of course, they're Canadian. They're super nice.
Oh yeah.
So they're like, hey, are you doing okay? Do you need any help? I'm like, no, I'm good. My friends left me, but I'm good. They abandoned me, but I'm gonna make it to the end. And they're like, oh man, your friends suck. No, they never said that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. They never said that. But yeah, so they were just like, if you need any help, just let us know. We'll be right up front. I'm like, yeah, cool, thanks. But eventually we made it to the end.
Yes, we did. So, I guess continuing with the story, by the way. So she starts off right in the beginning. So I figured no problem. Bob would stand by me or ski by me and, speak and teach me everything I needed to know. Mm-hmm. So I should have thought more about why he would put his life in jeopardy when he was just helping me into my ski boots, and that cost him a bruised forehead and a nearly smashed toe.
How?
I don't know. I don't know what these guys were doing.
What is happening? How are you injuring somebody putting on the shoes?
Well, let me tell you, the shoes that we use for cross-country skiing, they're so easy to put on. But if you put on ski boots, it's like a whole journey to put those on. And when you take them off, it's like, I don't know, it's like you're reborn. It feels so good to take off ski boots.
Yeah, but you don't also give somebody a bruise on their head in the process.
That's very true. I have never bruised my forehead or smashed a toe when putting on ski boots. But yeah, so that's how the journey started. And clearly that's not the best sign. So she said, before we even left the hut, I had clanked heads with him as I bent over to see what he was doing on my ski boots. Bro. And then so that's how he got the head bruise. And then he flinched and dropped a ski onto my other unbooted foot.
Oh, great.
He was already swearing under his breath, and I still had to get outside. So, oy vey, in retrospect, I guess I'm lucky he finished out the honeymoon. So, next paragraph, moving on. Mm-hmm. As he patiently explained to me, I was a novice, little did he know. So apparently she didn't even tell him that she did not know how to ski.
Isn't a marriage supposed to be built on trust?
Yeah, she trusted him to take her skiing with him.
Yeah, but you're supposed to tell your husband everything. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have booked a ski trip holiday if she didn't know how to ski.
Well, she was going to learn through osmosis, remember?
Don't even remind me of that.
So he said, as he patiently explained to me, I was a novice and I needed some instruction. So then he actually got her the perfect gift of ski lessons. Okay. So she said, I have to admit, I wasn't thrilled. He was going off to the slopes, having fun, and I have to go perform at something. I had a feeling was not going to be quite as easy for me as playing the accordion. Okay. So she said, but as a new bride, I knew I couldn't grumble too much. So of course I went. And I have to say, the ski instructor made it all worthwhile for me in his tight little pants with his trim and muscular body.
What?
Yeah, she's very attracted to this ski instructor.
Man,
it seems like
you are on your honeymoon.
Right, you just got married.
Calm yourself.
So she said, bad.
I'm surprised that it didn't go that much better, because instead of skiing, she should have been swimming. Because of all that heat that was being generated there.
Facts. So she said, too bad I didn't get much more out of the class than some... What's this word? We discussed this word before we even started this podcast. I asked you what it is. Lascivious. Lascivious, what is it?
Wait, sure, let's go with that.
Yep. Where's the sentence? Too bad I didn't get much more out of the class than lascivious thoughts. And all you viewers out there who have studied for the SAT, this word probably was not on there. It says feeling or revealing an overt or an often offensive sexual desire. So the sentence it's used in is, he gave her a lascivious wink. And for those of you who can't see me, which is everyone, I just winked at you.
That just sounds gross at this point, based on the context of the story.
Yeah,
it's like, take it back. Do not. Nobody wants this wink.
Okay. So anyway, moving on. She said, I truly was trying to grasp things, but as I stood on the side of the mountain watching people flying down at neck-breaking speed, I had to wonder if this was even going to be my sport. Obviously, it was not, as while I was watching other skiers come zooming down the hill, somehow I lost my focus and got dizzy.
What?
Just by watching other people.
Did you get dizzy watching other people?
Apparently.
Man, don't take her to a mall, man. It's going to be some terrifying times for her. There's too many people there.
For sure. She said, I felt myself lean, and then I felt myself start falling. And unfortunately, for the other 7 or 8 people in line listening to the instructor, I proceeded to take down the entire line like dominoes until we were all laying in the snow. Mr. Built was not happy.
Okay, I guess that's his name now.
Yep.
Just sounds like a Lego character.
Mr. Built.
Mr. Built. Did you build Mr. Built yet? No, he's not built yet.
No, he's Mr. Building. Okay, so she said, the class just got worse. I really don't know what was wrong with the instructor. He must not have been very good, because no matter what he told me, I couldn't do it. Yeah, so for some reason, it's his fault that she's not great.
Exactly, blame him.
She said he took me over to the tow rope and told me how to get on and how to stop. Unfortunately, I did not quite understand that part, because when we were supposed to be stopping, I forgot to let go, so I banged into the man in front of me. Oh, even though I was young and pretty then, this was clearly back when she was young and pretty. So even though I was young and pretty back then, he did not like being body slammed from behind. What a jerk.
Yeah, I don't think it matters if you were young and pretty. I think just people do not like getting body slammed.
I would agree. So after a couple hours of fun, quote unquote fun, I decided to do Bob and I both a favor. By the way, keep in mind the ski instructor, his name will constantly be changing apparently. Oh. So I told Mr. Hunk that I was too tired and was saving myself for my honeymoon. So I took off my skis and did what any self-respecting person would
TMI, do. Man.
Seriously. I went to the bar and sat in front of the fireplace. It worked for me. So after all these skiing lessons, all this Mr. Hunk, Mr. Built, all these people, she's like, nah, I can't do this. I just got married. Let me just go sit in the bar in front of the fireplace. And then she said, I pretty much gave up skiing for several decades. Although I did get up my nerve from time to time and just dabble just to keep my skills current, you know?
What skills?
I don't know. Then, okay, so now the story continues. All right, so that was her first experience, I think. Mm-hmm. And moving on, the story continues. Then in about 1983, someone in my family had the brilliant idea to take the whole family on a ski vacation to Canada at Whistler.
So this is a very old, story.
Yeah, this is a very old story.
This is like somebody who's like a grandmother, basically, at this point.
Yeah, that's what it seems like, yeah. Yeah, so this was way back in the day. I didn't even know. The story was published itself in 2020. So, but yeah, I did not know it was from this far back.
Yeah, because like 1983 is when she went, like after she was already married.
Yeah.
So that in itself is like 40 years ago.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, they went to Canada at Whistler, and she said, I'm still tickled about this. No, never mind. Not tickled. That tickled would mean she's enjoyed it, thought it was funny. I'm still ticked about this.
Okay.
Completely different. So except for the snow and beautiful country, it was not the trip from heaven for me. Mrs. Grace / Poultry in Motion. I don't really know what that means. Is that a reference to something?
I have no idea.
Okay, well.
Maybe it's a 1983 thing.
Yeah, possibly. I don't think we're there. So what made things even worse was that everyone except my mother skied, and pretty well. Even my legally blind son skied.
Bro.
So
Bro, that's just embarrassing for you.
Yeah.
Well, clearly he didn't get his skills from you.
Oh yeah.
He got it from his
dad. Not at all. Yeah, either through osmosis or or practicing.
Through osmosis.
So she said, determined not to let the sport get the better of me, and after many dares from many family members, I finally succumbed and decided to just do it. Nike's words were never more true. I had skied enough over the years to know the basics, but I still did not like it. I'll tell you why. And now she goes into like a long list of reasons, but so I'm just going to read off a couple of them because there's a lot. So why do you stand in line just to try and maneuver a stick? Just try to maneuver a stick while you're going down a hill. And then you're waiting for a chairlift just to get on without falling on your butt. It stresses me all the time. Why do you have to ride on a ski lift so high in the air? I don't like heights. Can't there just be a ground shuttle that takes you up? Why do you have to point your ski up and sit and then ski down a hill? Does this make sense to anyone? This is sure a recipe for disaster. It gets me very panicked. And why doesn't the ski lift stop? So I don't know if you're too familiar with skiing. But when you go skiing,
well, I know how ski lifts work at least.
Okay, yeah, but like it's more difficult like when you're skiing for the first time because you have your skis on, and the chairlift doesn't stop, so you just have to go off and be fine. And if it's like your first time skiing, most likely you will fall. And it doesn't like really slow down, just forces you right off. And some ski lifts are very aggressive. So anyway, that's her pet peeve. I can agree with that. And she's like, why do the hills have to be so steep? Don't they know that speeding kills people? The only way to combat this is for me to ski down sideways. But then what's the point of skiing? Do you know how close I have gotten to the edge because I hate turning? Why do I have to snowplow to slow down? This is so stressful on the knees. I don't like going so fast. I can barely feel my knees by the time I'm down the first run. So those are all like, and of course this continues on, but a bunch of reasons why she's not thrilled about skiing. So anyway, continuing with the story, here we are. Oh, happy days. Again, she's in Canada and wherever the place is. It's all about everyone having fun. Too bad, as it happens to be 40 below zero this particular time of year, and the snow is hard as ice. Dude, when we went to Florida, it was like, -10 on like the coldest day or something?
You mean Canada?
Yeah, when we went to Canada. Yeah, what did I say?
You said Florida. I'm like, if it's -10 in Florida, that's crazy.
My bad. So when we went to Canada, like it was like -10 at the worst, right? Or something like that.
Yeah. I think it was like, probably around there.
Yeah, and we were dying the second we like got out of the car. So this is 40 below zero. At this point, it doesn't make sense to snow because, like she said, you're literally skiing on ice at that point. So she says, there are hardly any people stupid enough to be out skiing on this particular weekend. So I guess that was good in a way. Less viewing audience. The first afternoon we went up, after I had invested half of my life savings in a lift ticket. Those are expensive too, by the way.
Yeah, those are.
I did my usual. I got in line and managed to step in front of a man. Wait, what did you say? I got in line and managed to step on the man in front of me's skis and popped the sucker right off him. He was happy. Merry Christmas, dude. Well, I don't even know what that means. It says he was happy. Merry Christmas, dude. Get a sense of humor. What is everyone's problem anyway?
Oh, so he wasn't happy.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yep. So he said, I finally get on the stupid chairlift. Of course, I'm paired with my extremely athletic, tall sister who is an excellent skier. She doesn't have a fig that I'm... Wait, why don't you know what this means? She doesn't give a fig that I'm muttering to myself nonstop. Oh, this is like you.
Yeah. This is the coming up with like different words. So we say fork, they say fig.
Yeah, fair enough. That I'm muttering to myself nonstop. A sure sign that things are probably going downhill, literally. I hate getting off the ski lift. I don't dislike it. I hate it. I have myself convinced, and somehow I'm always right, that I'm going down. I stood up, proceeded to try to ski down the little slope, but oh, big surprise. I fell and slid down the whole way in a nice little bundle.
Wait, whole way isn't like all the way down the mountain?
No. So when you get off the ski lift, there's like a little slope that brings you down. Because this way, otherwise you just be like on flat ground. But there's like a slope right after the ski lift. So you build up some momentum when you come down. Yeah. So she seems like she has, fell down of that.
Okay.
So then she says, well, I get up and proceed to try and ski over to the beginning of the run. But somehow, another surprise. I stepped on my own ski, and my efforts to stay upright fell over sideways. I now have an audience. For some reason, everyone wants to ski with me. This can't be a good thing. Finally, I get my skis back on, I get up, and it's so cold, I'm sure my fingers will never be the same again in my lifetime. And I'm still running this in my mind. Why am I out here? My sister is yelling something.
That was me. I can 100% relate to that feeling. Ma'am, that was me when I went cross-country skiing. It was like, why am I out here? Why am I doing this?
I related to some point where it's like, oh my God, I'm going to freeze to death. Like when we went, it was fine in the beginning, but after a while, I'm like, oh my God.
It was snowing too.
The scenery was beautiful, but it was like, I can't handle this anymore. Please get me out of here. We hadn't eaten. We had 2 bottles of water that I brought somehow. Most of it was frozen.
Yeah.
It was tough, man.
That's how cold it was. They froze inside like a bag. Like they weren't even like exposed to the environments. They was like in a bag, but they just froze.
It was wild. But anyway, so where were we? Yeah, she fell down. Mm-hmm. My sister is yelling something about being a good sport and shutting up and just getting with the program. Maybe we should have done that too. Hey, be a good sport and shut up.
Yeah, because
get with the program.
When someone's upset and angry, that's how you deal with them. You tell them to shut up and get with the program. Because that's been proven to be so effective in the past.
Clearly her sister got no people skills.
She doesn't have kids. That's the thing.
Yeah, probably. Okay, so she said, so I push off and start skiing down the blasted slope. I'm having a ball. Well, as I'm going, I'm thinking, wow, this is not good. I'm going way too fast. The icy conditions were not conducive to me going across the face of the mountain. So now I'm forced to go straight down. And by the way, when you ski down a slope, if you go straight down, you pick up so much speed.
Yeah,
you have to kind of go in like an S motion to keep yourself from going super fast. But that's very difficult to do when it's 40 below zero and like there's no snow. It's just ice.
I was just saying, why did the family think this was a good idea? I feel like someone can get hurt.
I don't know. I have no idea. So she says, so now I'm forced to go straight down. I do not ski straight down. Now my, what is this, modus operandi? Is that a thing?
I have no idea.
Well, her thing is ruined. Okay. She said, I'm starting to panic. And as soon as I do that, I notice that I'm going even faster. My sister is swooshing away, oblivious, obviously, to the dangerous speeds. I remember screaming out something about, help, I'm going too fast. I seem to remember a laugh over her shoulder. And again, this is her sister. Mm-hmm. So she's still swooshing along. And since I was not getting the help I was hoping for, in terms of encouraging words or how to get out of this, I did what I thought was best. Somehow, my sister had stopped and turned around to wait for me. I guess because she saw the whole show go down, as did quite a few people, including those on the chairlift. So I think this is what happened. In my state of panic, I decided to do just what I thought was correct. I put my ski poles in front of me to stop myself. I did not apply the laws of speed and trajectory of flying objects, obviously. Man. I don't even think, I don't even think I thought about it. In an effort to stop myself as I felt like I was flying down the hill, I just jammed/thrust my poles right in front of me and managed to impale myself right into them. My stomach hit the poles. I gasped in agony, uttered a string of swear words my grandmother would have been very proud of, and proceeded to crumple in a fetal position to my side on the snow. I heard laughter. Lots of laughter.
Sounds super painful.
Yeah. And somehow, to top it all off, I lost one of my skis and it went flying down the mountain. So, I heard my sister laughing her head off. She said she was coughing. Yeah, right. I'm not stupid, inept, and a klutz, but I know laughing when I hear it. She said she'd be right back. She was going to go get my ski for me. I remember her yelling something out like, "Keep it! I don't want it back." But she wasn't listening. She was determined to kill me. I know it. It was payback. It was payback for the chocolate bomb. She ended up towing the blasted ski back to me and then making me put it back on. I skied hunched over down the slope and did what I do best. Went to the lodge, went to the bar, took off my skis, and that was my favorite part of skiing.
I will say, she has a good sense of humor and a good sense of sarcasm in writing this story. Like, she did an excellent job in at least, like, depicting a picture for us.
Oh, so for sure.
Like, I can actually physically, like, visualize her, like, barreling down this mountain, putting the ski, like, not the skis on, but, like, putting the poles in front of her and basically, like, jamming them into her stomach. As soon as she said put them in front of her, I'm like, oh, no. Like, even I know that you don't put your poles in front of you if you want to slow down. You got to, like, drag them behind you or something.
Yeah.
But, like, so as soon as she said put them in front of me, I'm like, oh, it's going to go bad. I personally thought she was going to go flying.
I did as well. I actually did as well.
I guess it's not as... I think that would have been worse, so at least it's not as bad as that.
But yeah, so this actually goes on for quite some time. I think I'm going to stop here.
Yeah,
we got a couple of stories. But yeah, so hopefully this does not turn you off of skiing. And anyone else who's listening who has never skied before, I hope this doesn't turn you off either. It's a lot of fun.
I was going to say, based on this, we literally cut down like the ski population by half. Like,
well,
everybody who has thought about skiing, you'd be like, nope, not doing this. It's not for me.
Well, keep in mind.
It's like, honey, cancel the plane tickets. We are going to Hawaii instead.
Well, you also got to keep in mind, we can't really impact half the population. We impact like 4 people, and we're impacting half of that.
I'm manifesting. I'm manifesting that it's going to be a bigger audience.
Okay. I can agree with. All right. But there we go. So that's the story I had to share with you today. I thought it was pretty cool when I took a quick glance at it, so I wanted to share that with you.
No, I think it was a great story. I think it was great that she got like, in a way, she got a personal experience that at least she can tell people about.
For sure.
It's not the best experience for her. It's a great experience for us to hear it because it was hilarious, but I could relate to it on a bunch of different levels based on how I felt when we went cross-country skiing.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think the first thing I said to you guys after we were done, I'm like, yeah, never again. Never doing this in my life ever again.
Yep.
I think it's even on video. We have a video of me saying that. But yeah, I was just like, I'm dead. I can't do this. The worst part was not being able to go to the spa after.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, at least she, was able to go back in, go to the bar, sit in front of the fireplace, live her best life that way.
Yeah.
We just got back into a car, and then I don't even know what we did.
We drove to get food, basically.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. Oh, yeah, we were starving. We hadn't eaten anything.
Yeah, so we just went to like get food because we were exhausted. We couldn't go to the spa.
Yeah.
Our plan was to go to the spa and eat at the spa.
Yep.
But we couldn't do that, so we had to find like a new restaurant and stuff to go to. It was torture.
Yeah. But we made it out alive. And hopefully maybe someday we can do
physically,
it again.
Yes.
Yes. Mentally, I don't know.
I'm dead on the inside.
So that brings us to the end of our first podcast of 2023. So whether it's stories about Hello Kitty not being a kitty, a man under house arrest, an overdue library book, a bomb squad being called because some man slipped, I don't even know what that even means, or some humorous winter skiing activities, we got you covered. So this has been Sometime, Someday with some news. See you soon.